Mario once again with MIA Microflight, and this is going to be a segment on tidying up the controllers, all wiring and all that stuff that was in the back of this go-kart that I built recently with 1.5 inch steel tubing that's used for gates. Available at Home Depot. I'm not trying to promote for Home Depot. I'm just saying where you can get this stuff. You can probably get this at Lowe's or maybe any industrial house that carries all sorts of products, for the industry. But I installed these lights. I just recently got these as well. These are some really nice strips. I got them because they were, after searching high and low, on Amazon, sometimes if you're just searching for the first time, you probably get the most expensive ones, and then if you search a little more, and the more you refine your searches, Amazon gives you all these options. You eventually end up at a much lower cost of the same items. I don't know about the quality because they come from different manufacturers, but they're pretty much similar, to a lot of the stuff that's out there for very similar lights. You can get for almost twice as much. So I got these for I believe these were like $10 a set, and those front ones that are here that I showed before, so very nice lights. I got those for $12 a set. I don't know if they'll be that price any longer, but I got a bunch of these for not only for go-karts but also because they're very bright. I'm going to use also in my shed. It's a work light, so when I work outside, it'll provide me light. So those are very nice lights. They come with it's an aluminum enclosure with steel brackets and bolts that can bolt on. The bolts that came with this were not long enough to clear the 1.5 inch width of this tubing, so I ended up putting just 5/16 bolts, just a standard bolts there with lock nuts or nylock lock nuts. But they're working out real nice. I've been working on my panel. I still have to do the wiring to the panel, but I've been kind of trying to clean up this section right here, this back area here, and this is what this is about. I just made this ABS. I had a little sheet of ABS plastic, and I didn't want to introduce any more weight, so I decided to do it out of ABS and not aluminum, because I do have some aluminum sheet, but that was going to add quite a bit of weight. So I decided just to heat bend this this box right here, this ABS box, just to cause all the controllers and all the wiring here. I'm going to tidy this up a little more, but this is very, it's housing these very compact. I mean, I could just cut a couple holes there to extend the wires outside, but I'm going to see if I can make it a lot cleaner, so you don't see any of this spaghetti here, all this craziness here with all these wires. I don't know why they just don't make one single connector and just put all the wires, to one single connector, so that it's just one standard plug, like an RS-232 plug or something like that. With most of the, at least with most of the signal wires, the ones that either need to be connected to ground or 5 volts supply. The more heavy ones, I can see those as being separate. That I would keep it separate, because it's just power. More current has to go through this. But as far as all the signaling wires and there's a good maybe four sets of cables here that are for signaling your reverse, your cruise control, what else is here? Reverse cruise control, maybe some lighting. The motors. I would keep it also together. This with the sensor for the hall sensor for the brushless motor, and the 3 wires for the 3 phases of the brushless motors that are embedded in those wheels. So, I'm going to try to clean that up a little more, but that's going to be right there, and it's going to really clean this whole area. You won't see those wires or controllers anymore, and so that's what I've been working on. I've been also trying to see if I can, because these controllers don't come with any. They don't come with, unfortunately, connectors for brakes, and yeah, they don't come with. I'm pretty sure if I open up this controller, there'll be somewhere in the PC board, there'll be some connection, for doing braking. Um, but I just have, a handle, just a bicycle brake here that I just installed recently also. And this is, normally, I think it's normally off. Normally open, rather. Normally open. Then when you click this, it closes the switch, and then that triggers whatever is attached to that in series. So I have been trying to see if I can connect these lights, because these lights come with 3 wires. The black is typically the ground. The ground and the green are low voltage, or they're set to provide. They're designed for 12 volts. So if you connect 12 volts to the ground and the green, you're going to get 12 volts, but on a low intensity on the LEDs. The minute you connect this to the plus, and you can connect both of these, it's going to establish your higher intensity, which is for braking. So this, I'm going to attach this to the brake, but I cannot attach this directly to the brake line, because it's the brake line is this needs to be connected to hot on the positive side, meaning on the high end side, which is the plus sign, or the plus voltage was 12 volts. Unfortunately, and the only plus high side that I have on my connectors here of these ESCs is to 42 volts. They want you to connect it to high voltage. I don't know if this will work with 12 volts. I should test this and see if I can connect it with 12 volts. If it does connect to 12 volts, brake on the high side yellow needs to be connected to batteries. So batteries. I don't know if this will work on 12 volts. I should test it and see if it works on 12 volts. But it does work on 42 volts, which is what this little pigtail is that I installed here direct from one of these 42 volt outputs here. So this would be my brake, and so if it does connect to 12 volts, then my problem is solved, because I can just connect this wire, parallel this with the 12 volts connected to the high end of this brake. In other words, I would have to pull this out, take these 2 wires, so that I can provide a high voltage, meaning 12 volts in this case, from my DC to DC converter from 42 to 12 volts. So I can do so that way my brakes would work, because I would be applying, when the brake is on, boom, I'm basically hooking up the 12 volts, to both of these lines, and that's how the intensity on these work. This needs to be connected 12 volts. So that might be one option. The other option, if I can't do that, is to go with a relay, or just another DC to DC converter, which I don't really want to add. I mean, I already have one, for the front lights. I mean, I could tap onto that. So that's something that I'm working on. I'm trying to do some schematics here, so that I can have also the schematics for this, not only for my sake, because I like to have a clear picture of what I've done here. I've done projects like this in the past, and I write down my schematics, my plans on these books that I have, these drawing books. I have so many of them that sometimes I forget, where that is. And I don't want to go through all my books, to find those schematics. So I think a schematic on board the vehicle, like schematics used to be supplied with electronic equipment in the old days. That should that's the way I would like to do this, and just have the schematic, just laminate that schematic, just maybe just a drawing, maybe about that big, maybe 3x4, something like that, something that I can pop maybe in the back or underneath the seat, and just have it in case I need to retrace some of these lines, and I have that way I have a full visual, right on in my fingertips, and I have to search for that. Other than that, my brakes, these lines are already set, to this is going to be triggered, like I said, by my brake. So that's probably going to be a connection right there where my panel is going to be, right underneath there. I'm going to route these lines. I'm going to try to route these through the side here. I'm going to create I guess I should have just drilled a hole right through this tubing right here. 90 degrees with this one because this hole was already there. That's why I brought this these wires right here. But I guess I could have done that and just run these underneath here so you don't see this pigtail here sticking up right underneath this tube right here because that tube is open. But I have to drill a hole on the wall of this bar right here, this horizontal bar, so that it goes through here, and that way I can route all my wires, on this tube right here, which is plenty of room there. So that's what I'm going to do, kind of similar to that, but on the center one. So I need to come in here, and but I also need to supply another hole here. I don't want to go through the brackets. I don't want to drill holes through the brackets. This was, like I said, this was part of the bracket, and so that's how it was. Actually, this is supposed to be for another bolt, but these two are just fine, in this T shape. So I left that open. Maybe come in and drill maybe a half-inch hole here, or maybe a little bit 3/4 inch. I don't think that's going to diminish the rigidity of this setup here, because these brackets are pretty hefty, and it's one on top and the bottom. But if I come in with a hole here, I can run all my wires right here unsightly right through that beam right there to the front. I'm going to have to drill a couple holes. I'm going to have to drill another hole right here to come in into my panel. Yeah, my panel is actually you can see how crazy I've been testing and kind of doing the schematics and all these things, with I have all these things all over the place, so I'm going to clean all this up. That's just how I work. I start sketching things, and then I clean them up once I'm done with them. But I do a lot of thinking on not only in my head but also on paper, just quick sketches. This is my DC to DC converter. I was running this, but I think this only goes up to 37 volts. So maybe I was running it too hot. Something happened here, so I think I blew that one. It's not totally blown because it does light up, but something went wrong. So this is my panel right here. I already have the switches. This is my power switch, my main system power. Then I have forward. This is just a momentary switch, forward and backward. Momentary. Either way would work, or with forward, the way I'm going to connect it to the controller, because all the connector is doing is just latching. All it needs to do, boom, is latch those two wires, for the reverse, which are actually called learning wires on the schematic. For some reason, they call it learning. But if you just toggle those, they don't need to be fully on. If you turn it fully on, the motors will remain fully on. So it's just just to latch it. Same thing with the cruise control. It's just a latching. All you're doing is grounding those signal wires, to ground. So those are grounded. Signals to ground. The speed control is these two right here. These are momentary. This is actually a latching switch, similar to this one's, but this one's actually latching. So this would be for cruise control, high, regular, and low. Actually, this should be inverted. The high is the dual one, and this would be for my lights. This is going to be for my my main lights, which will probably connect also to the brake lights, because the lights need to be on at night, not so much at daylight. But I guess I could separate the main white lights in the front from the rear ones, so the rear ones are always on. Just to I don't know how bright those LEDs will be during the day. If they are pretty bright, I will leave them on. Just to in case I decide to run this during the day and somebody's behind me, I could just turn it on. So just to send the signal that it's the vehicle is stopping. And that is running, with the regular lights. So this is my control panel. Been doing also some pigtails wiring. I was going to do this using these guys right here, these breakaway boxes, but it's getting too much. These are kind of heavy, and so I decided just to do pigtails like this, with a bunch of connectors, so that I can tap on, from the mains, the power. So it's going to be running on 12 volts. It's going to be strictly for signaling and 12 volt, which is basically lights and all the signals, ground. ground signal to ground. And so this is a low voltage setup here panel, and then my high voltage will be separate, to the batteries. This panel is kind of similar to this one. This is the one that I did for my racing go-kart. I haven't connected this one yet, but you can see everything's pretty much in there. So once I do this, I'll come back and do that other one. But yeah, so this is the panel. I wanted to grab this panel here, and this is going to go. Basically, it's going to be like that. It's a pretty spiffy, panel. It's in line with the width of the tubing here, so it's going to look really cool. So yeah, I am going to finish these. I'm going to finish these controllers, cleaning this up, like I said, and this back area should have this. Will have this previous this ABS cover here, and I just bent this with a really quick and dirty bending jig using a hot wire. I did have a hot wire from cutting foam, but it was on a C bracket, and so I kind of set this up on a table just to heat up those, the bend points or at the lines where I was going to bend, and that's how I did it. It's not really professional looking, but it's not really bad, for bending it the way I just described. If I had a bender, I am going to build a bender, more a better setup, for bending plastics. So it's just another thing that I have to create, and I don't want to take another half a day or a day, to build just that, to do this. So this cover is working out just fine. And actually, this is one of these sides this is the nicer side, so that's going to be right there. And the way I'm going to attach this is I'm going to attach this. This is actually supposed to be in line with the half inch there, so it's going to be like that. So really, really clean. This will be through these bolts, so I'm going to drill a couple holes here so that this bolts with in line with these. Probably have a couple of washers, or maybe let me think about that, because I do need the I don't want to mess this up. I do need the support that has to be a metal to metal, and so this bracket or this box right here, this cover, I can probably just attach it with just some regular self-threading screws, just on the corners here, because it's really, and then it's got the rest at the back, so maybe like a three-point connection there with those, and then my speed controls are going to go, like I said, they're going to go like this. The two of them. Where's the other one? Yeah, well, it's going to be like that, and then I have about a half. About 1.5 inches of clearance here for all these wires, so that I can shove those in there, and clean them up, or yeah. I guess I could put connectors on the side here, besides the motor and the hall sensors that are required for each motor. I could do that. I don't have very much room right here. I could run maybe some wires, but without the connectors, because those connectors are going to get in the way. Kind of shove those in like that. I could do that, and then take out the connectors from the from the rear here. You won't see those because they'll be in the rear of this box, kind of behind the that seat rest, the backrest. So yeah, it's going to be like that. So I'm going to be working on that, and then next video, you'll probably see the completed assembly. But it's cleaning it up really nice. These lights are very, very nice. I'm glad I got these lights. I was going to just put one there or one on the seat, but I'm glad I did this. I had to drill through the tubing. I'm reusing the one bolt, at least, where these speed controls were connected. So there's a bolt right there. So that now all I had to do is just come back and drill another hole right there. So it's a lot of wires, a lot of wiring harnesses that you have to do with this stuff. But that's what you have to do. When you custom make things like that, and you want lights. You want pretty much of the the all these cool things that I'm embedding in this go kart, and I'm doing it because it's such a great rider. Uh, if it wasn't a if it wasn't providing me the ride, I would not be spending the time to do all the stuff that I'm doing. Cleaning it up, putting mirrors, putting headlamps and stuff like that. I would just keep it as just a beater up. But this is a very very nice car, and this will be my basically my model for a second one that I want to build, so that either my wife or whoever is around that wants to ride with me can ride with me. Uh, so yeah, this is where I'm at with this. And next video, this will be already cleaned up and set up, and I'll show you how the lights and all that stuff works, and maybe give you a glance at my schematic here. All right, Mario, once again with my A microflight. Stay tuned for the continuation of this project that I thought I was done with it, but I still have a little more to go. All right, take care.